Hello and welcome to our first playthrough of Viking Hills, or Valhalla Hills rather. Okay, we're going to be starting a new map. Let's start that, randomize, and start this game. What's Valhalla Hills about? It's about outcast Vikings who have to build and fend off some of their opponents in order to make it through to Valhalla after all. We start out with some basic equipment. Those of you who have maybe played Cultures or The Settlers will kind of recognize this. That's no miracle because it's the same team that has been programming this with more fancy graphics and some other neat stuff. Okay, this is obviously a lot more difficult than the map I did before, which you haven't seen. Thing is, if you build on a green space, it doesn't cost you anything extra. Everything else, yellow, orange and red, does cost you extra because it's not flat terrain. So this is kind of a 3D Settlers because you have to go uphill all the time. Okay, I haven't unlocked everything. This is kind of the thing for Valhalla Hills. You successively get more stuff to use, and apparently the maps get more difficult as well, or at least bigger, as in this case. The goal in the end is to get to this little... Whoa, we've got enemies already. To get to this portal, and there's some enemies hiding within, so you don't have... So it's actually quite hard to get through there. You can either do sacrifice or just fight your way through, but we are far from fighting our way through. So we get some extra woodcutter here. That's our first building. This is still not a full game. This is early access, but it's pretty advanced, and you'll recognize a lot of the stuff there. Okay, we're building a fishery to get our people fed, and then basically down here we have our buildings. These are the production buildings, quite a few yet already. Then there's logistics buildings. That's also the X key, so you start out with Y, X and C as shortcuts. That's very important because otherwise you'll get crazy trying to hit all these buttons, because they actually move. I mean, now they're on the right side, and when you close it... Oops. Actually, when it's closed, it goes to the left again. So it's left, and you want to click the next one because you missed the wrong one. You have to move the mouse. It's pretty bad screen design. But X, Y, and C get you there as well. Okay, these are moving pretty slowly. The reason for that is that we don't have pathways yet. R gives you roads, or you can just build roads from one point to the other, just as you have seen in Settlers. But sometimes you want to just not do that yet, because you'd rather just have a look at what kind of buildings you can actually build in the meantime. I mean, we have a wood cutter, but there's also a good space, or possibly a good space for a quarry here, since they're stones. So let's place a quarry here to make use of these stones. That means we pretty much have all our production buildings in one place. Zooming in and zooming out is still a bit hinky. It's kind of, if you zoom out with the mouse wheel by one step, it just takes you out all the way pretty much, and that's not much fun. Okay, you get notices here, whatever is missing. Buildings ready, stuff is missing. Yeah, that's kind of what's happening in a game such as this. Okay, Okay, this is the overview. I just touched the mouse wheel again and jumped out. Okay, we've got 2 buildings. We don't have a resource indicator, so we actually have to go here, click on resources to see that we have 3 logs and, well, pretty much nothing else. That means we'll have to get our woodcutters going. Now, we can see whether these woods are dangerous. Yes, they are. See these wolves here? So it's not a good idea to build a woodcutter there yet. Unless we want to build an axe. So let's get some military going. Just a little military camp. That's one of the few camps that you can actually move. It's kind of like a flag to send your warriors somewhere else. First of all, you have to build it somewhere, and afterwards you use that as a flag to send your military either to hunt wolves or to attack the enemy. Things like that. If you click on the construction sign, you see what it takes to build this. 1 leather, 1 wood. Of course, leather is in short supply until we start... That's the mouse wheel again. Until we start hunting something. And hunting something like rabbits. There's also rabbits up there. And this is just mushroom. No rabbits there. So, rabbits, rabbits, rabbits. That might give us skin. Perhaps not in that size, but I don't think the game differs in that. So, we have unlocked new stuff. Iron ore, geologist, iron melt, mine, and mine pedestal. That's nice, but probably not something we can use in this game. Let's see. Well, it gets added. Quarry, wheat farm, kitchen. Oh, we saw the kitchen earlier. Has anything been added? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, and here maybe there's a dwelling. And that already takes quite a bit. Haven't figured out courier yet. That's basically from transporting stuff from one page or one side of your island to the other, but I haven't really used that yet. Okay, now that we have our first production ready, we can actually look at what's next. There's a circle for making bread available, and that's the wheat farm. Wheat goes into the mill. The milled wheat or flour gets into the bakery, and they make bread out of it. The other way to use wheat is to combine it with well in a brewery, and proper Vikings need that to bolster their courage, so they drink that. That gets delivered into the military camps and they drink it. Actually, it raises their hit points. Yeah, that's a nice idea to make use of breweries. So, I guess all soldiers use that, at least Western ones. Okay, well, usually I would have said getting the military camp up here and just see what we have to deal with would be a good idea, but with all these very, very strange giants or Vikings, let's see, ice guards, that's a lot of them. That's 6, 8. That means we have to build up some decent sizes military before we actually can make use of that. Okay, how's our resource situation doing? We're getting more and more wood out of this. That's a good idea. Of course, there's more to wood, because the normal woodcutter just makes... That's the fisher. Where's the woodcutter? There's the woodcutter. Whoa, and the mouse wheel again. The normal woodcutter just does logs and some sticks, but we want planks for the higher level buildings, and that is done by extension. There's this little triangle here. This one helps us to get a wood back in order to continue to use that woodcutter. But the wood splitter is a separate little building that has to be placed very close to the original hut, like this. And that actually allows somebody to make planks. And now with R we can actually build some roads, because there's nothing happening in between here anymore. Okay, let's take it here and connect that fissure as well. And we can still make it through here. Yep. Okay, so we have some roads built. Oh, this is pretty tight here. Now it's what these do is that our Vikings travel a lot faster on those pathways than they do over just regular terrain. Okay, we've got a fishery. Maybe the next thing we want is a hunter. But hunter we already need planks for. So we need planks for that. So we pretty much need planks for everything here. The campfire, we wouldn't need that for a tent, so we might actually start out with a tent. Tents give you more Vikings and give some Vikings who are working in some of the buildings a place to sleep, making them rest less and work more. So that's usually a pretty good idea. So let's start out with a tent, so everybody is keeping busy. Let's connect that here. And if you ever played Settlers, this looks a little bit familiar with all these weird pathways. So that's a very, very similar setup. The roads actually improve over time. They count how often they are traveled, and if they are traveled more often, they get upgraded and you can travel there even faster, which is kind of a neat idea. Let's see. Okay, our first production is working well. We can build storage, but that's not our primary right now. Okay, that is already done, the tent. There's 2 people living in that. That means they go home at night instead of sleeping outside. They sleep in a tent, and that rests them better than earlier. Okay, when they get hungry, they either have to go to the fisherman and pick up something to eat there, or they have to pick up berries like those in the back. Okay, Vikings are very social beings. They actually need to talk to each other to feel good, and well, shoot the breeze, compare their muscles, whatever. Let's see. I think I'll make a little jump here and stop this session, first session, just play a few more minutes and then come back with the second session. Okay, see you then.